Welcome to the Cat-Eye School of Art. Double A, because that's my name. If you're interested in mathematics, numeracy, literacy or foreign languages, visit my website thebachbequest.com. Small letters, lowercase letters, the one word, thebachbequest.com. Any book on the website may be downloaded free of charge. Spelling in minutes is the only creatively linguistic spelling method in the world. It is based on the fact that the mind is a pattern making and a pattern using system. The fact that it was discovered by a Dutchman instead of an English professor is hard to believe. My most significant invention is the use of 7 spelling strategies. I condemn the method, the habit of letting children copy their spelling list 4 times a week with a test on Friday to see how many wrong, instead of seeing how many right. Schools always work with the failure mechanism. They see what you can't do instead of looking what you can do. The brain cannot absorb pure data, so a random list of words doesn't connect. And if you read my creative writing book, then you'll see that you can actually do about 15 exercises with the same words. Since the arrival of the first fleet, children have then been asked to write the word in a sentence. I've shown you that that method results in a wrecking yard. Children have only a vocabulary, a playground vocabulary of about 300 words. It can never be English. And she goes and he goes and we went to the beach. That kids' language. First discovery is the word building. The English have taken foreign words, 40% Latin words, changed the stress and mumbled the rest. Spelling is really a headache. Children can't see the trees for the forest. What I mean is, they can't see the forest for the trees. Atom, atomic. So now the stress is on the second. So atomic tells you that atom, that is one of the 5 sonants or vowels, spells with an O. I discovered this 40 years ago and there's not a teacher that uses it. Because they've finished their studies, that means they sit now like sardines in a tin. You have to be an outsider to see it. Atomic tells you that atom, so you need 2 words. In English you need 2 words to learn to spell a word. Then atom tells you that, so this is pronounced, this is not. We're going from the known to the unknown. Atom tells you that atomic, spells with an A. Of course, there are thousands of examples, but I'll give you a couple. Memory. The stress is on mem. So learning a language is word building so that memory relates to memorial. Aha! I have discovered this letter. This library, the stress is on the first. This is again If I make it longer, the stress is now on the A. So I know that this letter is an A. Librarian. It is simple, but it has never been discovered before. Because it's so handy to tell the kids, write out your spelling words and have a cup of coffee and then check them on Friday. Popular. Stress is on the pop. From people. Pop, people. That's why people has an O. P, you hear the E, you don't hear the O, but the O is in popular. I don't know what this is. Popularity. Man, this is unreal. There's a way of detecting silent letters. Most people find them a nuisance because they can't hear them, so they think they're not necessary. Detecting silent letters. Again, word building. House, you don't hear this. One house. But if you say two houses, horse. Don't hear it. You have to make it longer, horses. Him. Why do we have the N? Nuisance. No. Because a book with hymns is hymnal. How can a Dutchman see it and an English person can't? Not because he's stupid, but he never looked for clues. He took it for granted. He knows his language. And I had to study it. Sign. Well, you don't hear that G. But if you make it longer, signal. So it's most important that you keep on writing this silent letter. Column. Columnal. A columnal arch, he has about 20 columns. Autumn, that's a very good one. Why the N? Because rain in autumn are autumnal rains. Condemn. Condemnation. Ha! And nobody has ever seen it. This is the only one that we still use, and that is drop the Y and put an I. Well, that's actually a rule that's well known. Happy, happier, happiest. But this has never been, so only happy. This one has never been discovered. Because happy, happier, ta-ta-da, happiest. So they only do this one. They never look at this one. Marry, drop the Y, put the I, age. Marriage. Carry, carriage, drop the Y, put the I. Do you ever think that they connect the day and there? No way. They drop the Y and put the I there. They lost their heirloom. When your parents die, they always leave something that's called an heirloom. I still have my mother's clock. It's about 100 years old, and that is my heirloom. Drop the Y, put the I. This has always been a headache or a nightmare. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 endings that sound the same. Word building, label, labeling. You hear that the E is in front of the L. Cruel, cruelty. You write it as you say it. Saddle. You first say the E and then the L. No. Saddlery. Table. You say the E first and then the L. In that, of course, we say tafel, E-L, ul. Because the F relates to the B and the V. So table relates to the word tablet. There are hundreds of those. AL becomes this. nationally. Hospital, hospitality, it comes alive here. This is actually, you don't hear it, almost. Make it alive. Hospitality, hospitable. We have located the AL and the I. This one of those. Finally. Dismally. Aha! Petrol. Not with this, not with that, not with that, not with that. Why is it with an OL? Because word building tells you it is short for petroleum. The IL words are a different matter. I'm using now, I'm the only one that uses spelling and maths to teach you professional memory training principles, techniques. So we have to here learn again the mind is a pattern making and a pattern. So we lose here for the pattern IL. But now we have to remember that they go with IL. Not as isolated words. We have to bring a couple together so that they connect in an understandable language. So we have here actually a little paragraph, easy to remember, the whole class. This evil devil, well, that makes sense. This is almost one word. This evil devil has large tonsils and nostrils. Professional memory training has it that anything ridiculous, absurd, funny, outrageous makes it easier to remember. Something ordinary you don't remember because, well, it's too ordinary. So children love this. This evil devil has large tonsils and nostrils. So they go together, they go together, they go together. He likes to collect fossils and counsel pencils. The whole class. This evil devil has large tonsils. Repeat, Johnny, without looking. This evil devil has large tonsils, sir. Only tonsils? Oh, I'm sorry. And nostrils. What does he like to do? Well, he likes to collect fossils and counsel pencils. You have to make it a little story. To say that evil spelled with IL, that is not a story. That goes in one ear and out the other. This evil devil has large tonsils and nostrils. These go together. These go together. He likes to collect fossils and counsel pencils. Another one, of course, that is never ever, well, first of all, memory training it's only learn this for tomorrow. Worse, don't forget. It's always negative. Not remember this, no, don't forget. People are born with it. because their parents already started. Now don't forget your bag. That's why they do forget their bag. Another brilliant way of remembering something is visualization. You see this in your mind's eye. You are the evil devil. And you say to yourself, am I that bad? And you open your mouth and you see your tonsils. And you put your finger in your nose because your nostrils are there. And then you see yourself going into the bush to search for fossils. Now your father happens to work for the council. See, you have to dress up this whole thing to make it real. He works for the council, and of course he comes home, he pinches a few pencils. Spelling by association. This is again like a pattern. It's a picture. AAA. Bank balance. That is a picture. You see just. Look at this airmail. It is amazing actually. We are connecting words with the same pattern. Heaven on earth. Now that's not difficult. You can visualize it. You look up and then you look down because you stand on the earth. And then you look up again to see what weather it is. You need a sweater. No, you have to take off your sweater because of the heat. And another day you get up and it looks a bit bleak. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words. 5 for the price of 1. Look at this one. It has nothing to do with understanding. It has to do with seeing. I teach students to see. Not to look, to see. Did you see that horse has the same letters as horseshoe? This is amazing. Your toes are in your shoes. In some sentence, I use the name Joe. So I say Joe doesn't wear shoes because they hurt his toes. 3 for the price of 1. Stomach. How on earth can you remember? Ugh. Ugh. Tom has a stomach ache. Ha ha! There's not a soul that has seen it. Not because they were stupid, but they were never interested enough, not enough curiosity. Stomach ache. CH can do church, because in Scottish the CH is a K, like in Dutch, kerk. Or the CH can do chemist, scholar. So this is how you remember ache. It's not A-K-E, no, ache. He ate too much. Look at this. There's only 3 of those. And I discovered them. Tom has a stomachache. He ate too much spinach. The whole class. Nellie, can you repeat it? Ah, yes, sir. Tom has a stomachache. Why? He ate too much spinach. Paddock, you don't hear this at all. But you know, in a paddock you have dock leaves. Dock, paddock, dick, paddock, dock. Notice on office door. No ice today. Notice on office door, no ice today. We sold out. Bodybuilding, bodybuilding, word building, office, us. You don't know what it is. You make it longer, official. And the AL, of course, officially. Then we have a series called expressions. No wonder he won't come. Ha! Oh, oh, oh. No wonder he won't come. I know how. This is the whole picture. No wonder he won't come, the whole class. No wonder he won't come. Oh, oh, oh. I know how. There are two words, homophone sun. Well, this sun goes under and it comes up. It could not be better. But the other son is, my son is a good boy. Oh, oh, said a mother, oh, to another, oh, mother, oh, Monday. My son is a good boy, said a mother to another mother last Monday. The whole class. No, Jack. My son is a good boy, said a mother to another mother last Monday. Kids love this, so there is interest, and if there is interest, there is learning. That's far better than writing out your spelling words 4 times. That is a chore. With a nagging mother usually. And a chore, there could not be interest, and if there is no interest, there is no learning. And yet, they have been doing it since the arrival of the First Fleet. Those are colonial habits. But children have changed, but the school hasn't. Birds of prey. Homophones, you pray in church. But these birds don't pray in church. They prey on their food. They have grey eyes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Birds of grey, they have grey eyes. The whole class. Birds of prey. They have grey eyes. EY. Monday, do you honestly think that people know where this comes from, Monday? They might know that Sunday is named after the sun. But they never thought about the Monday, that is Monday is named after the moon. I'm only a Dutchman, but I know it. Wednesday is named after Woensday, so that's why the D. Friday is named after Freya, like Venus. Saturday is named after Saturn, the planet. Using a foreign language. Stomach, Tom has a stomachache. Dat is Latin, stomachus. Stomaco, Italian. Estomac, French. Estomago, Spanish. So that's why you have to make a bit of a, not that you have to start learning Latin and Italian or French, but the isolated one to give you the feel, the feel of languages. One or couple of words. Not everyday good nature in a different language. Much. From mucho Spanish. I only discovered this, and I'm now 90. I discovered it only a couple of weeks ago. It just hits me because all I'm doing is thinking of this. How can I improve? And because I speak German, it fall into place. Leisure, leise, is easy on. Fantastic. This is a difficult one. Leisure, leise. The Dutch one, of course, I know back to front. Daughter, in Dutch, dochter. Laugh. In Dutch we pronounce lachen. The river was fraught with danger. Has to do with freight. In Dutch, vracht. We pronounce these letters. We is the Dutch, I mean. Romance English. 40% of English words are derived from Latin. Romanian, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, French, and then English. These Romance languages all have the stress on ambulanza, ambulanza, ambulancia, ambulancia, ambulance. And of course the English bring the chest to the front and it becomes ambulance. So the answer, ansia, ans, uns. Now you lost how it's, so you need, well the closest one is French. It's the same. Ambulance, ambulance. And the word comes from Latin ambulare, means to walk. Ambulare. A couple of examples. Possible. What do you mean possible? Possible. Possibly. Here in the Latin languages, possibly, French. So the French is again the same as English, because the French say possibly, they pronounce, and bleu. Pos, not pronounce. They pronounce the E first and then the L. Possible. You write it as you say it. That's why English spelling is a nightmare. In Portuguese, instead of the B, they have sometimes a V. The V and the B are cousins. And you know it in English because if you can move, you are mobile. Do you honestly think that an English teacher has ever told the students, I make you interested in English, I make you to see? Possible. Possible, possible. Portuguese words often use a V instead of a B. In English, this curiosity can be heard in move and mobile. Well, that is big news to you. Hence, this YouTube performance. Someone has to tell the world how bad the schools are. Visualization. Je alles to think. Curtain. Yeah, Well, the folds in the curtain, that looks like a fold. The shape of the fold is like a U. Pistol. Well, petrol is petroleum, but pistol is not pistolium. So you need something else. When you look at the barrel, you see the O, and you better run away. First, IR, ER, UR is another headache. This looks like the number 1. This letter looks like the number 1. So some girls, so we have a whole line here to remember the IR words. Girls wear shirts and skirts and boys flirt with girls. They twirl around in the playground. One girl came first and another girl came third. About 5 or 6 in one context. Girls, shirts, flirt. Well, a fur is curly. You can see it. Visualization. Mnemonics. That's a Greek word. You don't pronounce this. Mnemonics. That means anything that helps you to remember. How on earth? Winds. Wind. You don't pronounce this, you don't pronounce this. Winds. It's named after the Norwegian god Woden. It's Woden's Day. The Viking god. This go to where? Oh, it was a busy bus. A pretty petty officer. Here it is pretty and now it is petty. Well, make yourself a picture, visualize. Oh, you got booked because you were speeding. And you looked at, and you say, okay, I'll pay $200 because she was, after all, a pretty petty officer. Sometimes the order of the letters change if you make it longer. Nobody connects and heritage. See, the I has become after the R. This is again a picture. Rains, not from the sky, but when you're horse riding. One is in your left hand and one is in your right hand. Far-fetched? No, it makes me remember. Silent letter, the reign of Queen. And a queen is always a regal person. Did you honestly think that when people do a rehearsal, that they think that it is to rehear? Of course not. Rehearsal means you rehear time and time again so that you don't have to look at your script anymore. Rehearsal means rehear. Elimination. Professional memory training has it that you if there is two ways, you only have to remember one, because if it's not the one, it's the other. The same in multiplication and division. When the signs are the same, there's only one rule. Then the answer is positive. That automatically includes, it's not another rule, that if the signs are different, it's negative. Same here. You have two types of aid words. This is easy to remember. The state maid was afraid that she wouldn't be paid for the carpet she laid. Johnny. The state maid was afraid that she wouldn't be paid for the carpet she laid. Running sentence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 already with AI. So she dragged it away again with the aid of her braid, she had long hair, during a World War II air raid. Same as airmail, isn't it amazing? Air raid. The state maid was afraid that she wouldn't be paid for the carpet she laid, so she dragged it away again with the aid of her braid during a World War II air raid. You do that a couple of times and you say to the class, write down as much as you can. No marks. Some people can do the whole thing. Don't give 100%. Some half, don't give 50%. Some first, don't give 10%. You have to check what they can do, not what they can't do. So, if you want to learn this, then the words that are not in there, they're all one-syllable words. You don't need to learn that these words spell with ADE, because they're not in your rhyme. So deeds, not words. That's famous saying. Benjamin's played. Oh, when we do this, never get lost in explaining what the words mean. Benjamin's played. A salesman in the building trade, armed with a saw blade and a spade, bade his wife farewell and began to wade through the knee-high water in the glade to look for jade before the day would fade. So this is much longer, so only learn the maid, and if it's not in that maid word, then it is in here. Knee, silent K. It is a Dutch word because I pronounce knie. Like knife, in Dutch relates to knippen, cut. Looking for clues. About 30 years ago, I had an 8-year-old student, and I asked her, there are two words for whale. One is the ring, the edge of a rowing boat, and the other one is the animal. And she said, this is H for heavy, because it's a heavy animal, and I've ever used it since. Minute tells you that minute spells the same way. Isn't that amazing? A minute is a minute part of the day. This is brilliant. Same word. Minute, minute. I've done this before. Girls chirp like birds. 1, 2, 3. They wear shirts or skirts and flirt with boys. One girl came first, another girl came third. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 for the price of 1. It's not difficult to remember. You can visualize this. You can hear them. They chirp like birds. And you can see that they wear shirts or skirts. And you can also see in the playground they flirt with boys. There's nothing strange. And of course there are always a race. So one girl came first and another girl came third. This is an amazing method based on seeing and hearing. And the fact that the mind is a pattern making and a pattern using. And in the last, it's the rhyme and the rhythm. I'm 90, I still remember a nursery rhyme I learned in kindergarten. All nursery rhymes may be remembered because